In this question, for part A, we're trying to find the value of the car after 3 years. If we try and use the graph, it's not very easy to read off the precise values. So we make use of the equation. So V is 20,000 minus 1,600, and the number of years, T, is 3. So we multiply by 3. And when we work that out, we get the value £15,200. For part B, we want to find the gradient of the line. The V value is what is usually the Y value, and the T corresponds to the X value. With our knowledge of the equation of a straight line, y equals mx plus c, the gradient will be the number in front of the x, which is minus 1,600. So the gradient of this line is minus 1,600. Alternatively, you could try and use the graph, so long as you can read off two clear values. This value on the vertical axis is easy to read, and there is another value, 10 against 4,000. So we can work out the gradient by getting the change in the y values, the vertical values, and then dividing it by the change in the x values, the horizontal values. So the vertical change of values, 16,000, and the horizontal 10 years. The line slopes downwards from left to right, so it's a negative gradient, and this gives us the minus 1,600. In part C, we're asked to explain what the gradient represents. The gradient represents the rate of change. So in this question, that's the rate at which the car's value goes down. We could use the proper word depreciates. For part D, we need to know when the car will have no value. Again, if we try and use the graph, we can't read off the value precisely. So we take the equation, 20,000 minus 1,600t, and we want to know when this value will equal 0. So we add the 1,600t to the right-hand side, and the value of t will be found when we divide the 20,000 by 1,600, giving us an answer of 12.5 years. And finally, in part E, we have to give a reason why this model might not be accurate. One of the things we might notice is that the car is supposedly worthless after 12.5 years, but in reality, a car is pretty unlikely to become completely worthless. So we could give that as a possible reason. Car is unlikely to become completely worthless. An alternative answer to this might be to consider what happens to the value of most cars. And when the cars are new, they tend to lose their value at a quicker rate. So we wouldn't get this straight line. So we could say that the car is likely to lose value at a greater rate when it is new.